All right, everybody, welcome back to the Little Brain Campaign podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lauren LaRose. I'm a board-certified child and adolescent psychiatrist and adult psychiatrist. And in this podcast, I like to talk to people who are involved in some way, shape, or form in mental health, physical health, parenting of kids. And I have the honor today of talking to someone who really saved me with my own children, especially my first child. Laura Hunter, she's the co-founder of Moms on Call. If you haven't heard about Moms on Call, you're probably living under a rock, but she's going to tell us all about it and how she got to where she is today. So thanks for being here.
I'm so excited to be here. We love it anytime that we can get back to, I still consider this home.
Yeah.
Atlanta's been home for, 27 years now. But this is still home. There's something about coming back home. So thanks for having me. Moms on Call. Jennifer and I worked at a pediatrician together in Atlanta.
And y'all are nurses by trade?
We are nurses.
Okay.
We're both nurses. We have 8 kids between us. We each have a set of twins, right?
Woo.
So we have been there.
Yes.
We've walked it out all day, every day.
Yes.
And Jennifer and I were actually on call. So we were taking all the calls for our practice.
Wow.
All the time.
While raising tiny little people.
Yes. And so, so many times I can remember, Lauren, when, I'd get a phone call, answer the call, and there's a coughing kid on the other side. And I'm like, yeah, just like this one.
Yeah,
and I've got one right here with me, right? But what we quickly realized, Brent, my youngest, was about, a couple weeks old, was in the office. And my boss said, hey, look, you need to kind of start going out and see new families. Tell them what to worry about, what not to worry about, so they're not calling you at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I'm like, that's crazy, but I don't have nannies or night nurses or housekeepers. I've just had my 5th kid, and I'm on call 90 hours a week. I don't think there's any time left.
Right.
And he said, it's what you're supposed to do. And so I wrote a folder, printed it off of my computer, and pulled Jennifer in to like, hey, can you go through this? Help me. Does this make sense? What are we telling parents? What do we do? Make sure it sounds right. And at first, Jennifer was a little like, yeah, I'll help you out all you want. But she wanted no part of it. And it took probably about 6 weeks. And I'm like, oh, no, you have got to go start seeing these parents because I can't do all of it. But we started going into the homes of new families in the Atlanta area. And we'd spend a couple hours with them. We would do everything from clipping nails to suctioning the nose to bath time to how do you put a diaper on? It's got all this elastic now. It's so much harder, right? How to put a diaper on, all of those day-to-day reality things. Then, hey, look, here's some things that we worry about. Here's some things that we're not. We're not going to worry that your baby hasn't pooped in 2 hours.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
And then we took it a step further. We began going through feedings because we were coming to families that were nursing exclusively. We had families who were bottle exclusively. We had people who wanted to do both. And there just wasn't, back then, 20 plus years ago, there just wasn't a ton of information around all of that. And so we would talk about feedings extensively wherever you were on your journey. And I'd done it all, right? I had nursed exclusively. I nursed and did bottles. I had premature twins. And then I had my last, who was kid number 5. There was 18 months difference between the twins and Brent. And I thought, there is no way I am going to teach this little boy how to breastfeed with twin 18-month-old boys at home. And he went straight to formula. He turned out just fine. And he loves his mama. He is probably one of the most compassionate kids that I have. And so, I'm like, we've been there. We've walked this out just in our own homes. We've walked it out at midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning with families from our practice. So we took that into the home to try and be a little proactive, right? Because if you kind of know what to expect, even though it's not perfect.
Right.
If you know what to expect, then we can have a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
To move through the day-to-day. And when those really bad days happen, hey, okay, it's a bad day.
Right.
We're going to get back on track
right.
tomorrow. And
right.
so Uh, we did that for probably about 2 years,
Mhm.
going into the home, spending these 2 hours talking about routines, talking about the realities of day to day. And then I went to the home of Kenny and Wanda Rogers, and
Mhm.
they had twins.
Uh-huh.
And so I went in and did an in-home consult, and Kenny was like, "Wait, this isn't copyrighted. It'll be copyrighted tomorrow morning." And his attorneys from Nashville were calling the next morning to
Mhm.
copyright the folder that I had no idea needed to be copyrighted.
Right.
I'm not a businesswoman.
Right.
I'm a nurse.
Right.
And and he said, "Laura, you've got something here. Send this folder to a self-publishing company.
Uh-huh.
Throw up a website. It'll cost you a couple $1,000."
Mhm.
He said, "You can't hit a bullseye if you don't throw
Uh,
a few darts.
Uh-huh.
And this is worth throwing a few darts for."
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Jennifer and I got together. We self-published the first book.
Uh-huh.
We made it super short. It was like 140 pages,
Mhm.
outline format, so
Yep.
that dads would read it.
Yep.
You know,
That's smart.
and we don't have time to. I don't want the whole history
No.
of one. Just give me a guideline.
Yep.
Give me an
Yep.
outline. And so we did that, and then of course now here we are. All
Mhm.
these years later, I think we were adding up the other day that we're like well over 1.5 million books sold throughout
Wow.
all of our covers. We've had
Wow.
4 different covers now, I think. 4.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, something like that. 4. And so we're on our fourth covers. We have 3 books, 0 to 6 months, 6 to 15 months, our toddler book, and then we have 2 new children's toddler books so that we
Okay.
read to them at bedtime,
Yeah.
talking about good behavior,
Uh-huh.
and then the good time bedtime books, or
Okay.
the bedtime books. So it is just so much fun. And then
Yeah.
our new app that just came out. So we've had an app back when apps were first coming out, and then
Uh-huh.
of course every year it seems like you have to do a new one.
Yep.
But our brand new app just came out in January, and it is phenomenal. Just
Yeah.
trying to get everybody on one page
Mhm.
to have all the information
Yep.
that they need.
Yep.
And really what we found through all these years was, 25 years, probably 21 years with Moms on Call specifically, is what we found is parents are strong, they're
Yeah.
adaptable, they're
Yeah.
resilient, we
Yep.
can do this.
Mhm.
And it is hard. I
Yes.
think so many times we go into parenting thinking, well, it just should be easy.
Yeah.
It should be easy.
Right.
What's the problem?
Mhm.
But it's hard.
It
But
is
we can
very
do hard
hard.
things.
Yes.
We can do hard things.
Yep.
And being able to support parents right where they are
Mhm.
on their journey
Yeah.
has been so much fun.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm loving every minute.
So, I mean, I know why Moms on Call helped me. And I was telling you before we started, like, being a child psychiatrist, and I did infant mental health training. So I learned about every different parenting philosophy there was, right? And it's sometimes like too much, and that's very overwhelming and confusing. And so to me, Moms on Call was like very practical, and it made sense. And it was almost like I was getting advice from my mom,
I love
or like
that.
my grandmother.
Right.
Why do you think people like benefit so much from y'all's program or gravitate towards it?
Well, I think confidence
Yeah. Mhm.
is hands down the number one thing. When, back when we used to write letters and get mail,
Mhm.
every letter was, I can't believe how much more confident
Mhm.
I am as a parent.
Yep.
And I think it's the confidence because it
Yes.
takes a lot of the guesswork out.
Yes.
And when we can take some of the guesswork out, then I think we're more confident in the decisions that we're making
Yes.
on the day to day. And sleep, we did not, and I'll say it all, that we didn't set out to create a sleep method.
Uh-huh.
That was not our purpose, our
Right.
goal. Our goal was, hey, we're going to kind of come in your house and help you feel like you can do this.
Yeah.
The sleep part was actually a byproduct of the confidence.
Okay.
And I believe that that's where that comes from.
Yep.
And so, hands down, confidence.
Yeah.
I think that's what we bring most to the table
Yep.
because life is chaotic.
Mhm.
It is crazy. But when we go back to the foundation,
Mhm.
sleep is super important.
Yes.
Most of us, there are some that love no routine and flying by the seat of their pants,
Mhm.
and they thrive and they do great.
Right.
But for many of us, routine
Yeah.
is so important for our
Yep.
mental health, our physical health.
Mhm.
And so when we put those foundations in place, then I think we can be better moms and dads and, wives and friends and
Mhm.
husbands and all those things when we have just some of those basic things in place.
Yep.
And when life is so chaotic, and it is, there's always a reset point
Mhm.
if you know what's coming
Yeah.
next. So even in the middle of the chaos,
Mhm.
oh, no nap today. Okay. But what's the next thing?
Right.
Oh, I know that there's a feeding at 1 p.m.
Right.
So if I can just make it to 1 o'clock, right? If I just make it to 1 o'clock, we can do this.
Yep.
Or every day is crazy.
Mhm.
So from the moment we get up, it's crazy all day because I've got older kids and we're in the car and we're
Right.
running and it's naps on the go and it's drop offs and it's pickups and it's
Mhm.
sick kids and whatever that looks like. But we know, hey, you know what? We have our family bedtime intact.
Yep.
I know that we can get home and at 6:30 start everybody's
Yep.
baths, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to have these kids down by 8 o'clock
Mhm.
so that I can go do the other 15 things on the list.
Yes.
So I think that predictability
Uh-huh.
uh, helps us so much. And I think that's what we bring to the table. We're going to give you the routine. It's not meant to be so strict
Right.
that you can't live.
Right.
It's meant to be that right hand line and that
Mhm.
left hand line. Stay in the middle.
Right.
You're going to do just fine.
Right. Right.
He's going to do fine.
Yeah. Um, that definitely resonates me when you're talking about like predictability and confidence. Because I think like most people will say, when they have their first kid, right? It's like so overwhelming. There's so much unknown. You're afraid of
Scare,
every
fear,
little thing that happens, right? You're afraid of
fear.
something bad happening. And then when you get to your second kid, you're like, okay, I've got this. I've done it.
Yep,
Like
yep.
I know the really bad things that could happen, but also like day to day, I don't have to be freaking out all the time,
Right,
right?
right.
And so I think like Moms on Call helps give you that second child confidence with your first child,
Right,
that
right.
like
Takes a lot of the guesswork
yeah,
out.
it takes a lot of the guesswork
Yeah.
out and we know babies feel your anxiety, right? If you're anxious as a parent and scared, they feel that,
They do
you
feel that.
know?
And I think that people forget. And it's not that they're manipulative, they're
No.
not, you know, but when we're calm, that
Mhm.
spills over. When we're confident, we always say confidence is
Yep.
contagious. And that starts very, very early.
Yep.
If you've got a kid that you're trying to nurse or give a bottle
Mhm.
and they are fighting it and you are like so tense and you're so scared, it's going to make that process harder.
Yes.
And so when we can kind of come and take a breath
Mhm.
and kind of come back to those basic things,
Yep.
that's when I think that we can move forward
Yep.
and get through the day.
So would you say most of y'all's training was it just like on the job as a parent?
It was absolutely on the job as a
Yeah.
parent
Yeah.
and taking the amount of calls.
Mhm.
Jennifer and I both did the after hours calls. We were one
Yeah.
of the only practices in Atlanta that had their own nurses take calls because we knew what our
Wow.
doctors wanted.
Right.
We knew that our doctors weren't worried about a certain temperature
Right.
until a certain point,
Right.
right? We knew what we could say, you know what, just ride this out,
Yeah.
ride this out. It's okay. We'll see you in the
Mhm.
morning. But we would take, I mean, it was nothing for us to take 100 calls an evening. You know, it was nothing,
Oh my
nothing,
gosh.
especially if we were on call for the office during the day. Then
Yeah.
we'd go on call at 4:30 in the evening and be on call until the office opened the next morning at
So
8
when did
o'clock.
you sleep?
And not much. And I will tell you, Jennifer retired way before I did.
Mhm.
I didn't retire from being on call 90 hours a week until 8 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
And it was tough. It was
Yeah.
a very tough transition
Mhm.
and some really rough years
Uh-huh.
of I was getting older,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And sleep deprivation is real.
Yes.
And so when you start to be like, wait, I've got to take better care of myself
Yeah.
mentally and physically.
Yep.
I haven't slept for longer than a couple hours at a time since way before my children were born. This
Wow.
is not sustainable.
Yeah.
And so it took a little while to
Mhm.
kind of get myself
Yeah.
retrained and
Yeah.
build my sleep
Uh-huh.
foundation, right? But no, we walked it out with all of those families because, yes, we would get the injury calls or we would get
Yeah.
the illness calls. But sprinkled in between all of those calls were those normal parenting
Mhm.
worries
Yep.
and fear
Yep.
and, oh my gosh, my baby hasn't eaten, in the last 6 hours,
Mhm.
or my baby hasn't pooped in 3 hours,
Yeah.
right? Or, we just got home from the hospital with our new baby and they're screaming their head off. Well,
Mhm.
okay, hold up. Let's,
Yep.
so taking all of that, then we're also walking it out in our own homes
Yeah.
with our kids, trying to keep everybody alive and not
Mhm.
forget somebody at the grocery
Yep.
store, right? So trying to walk that out. So absolutely 100% experience,
Yeah.
whether it was in our own homes or taking those calls.
Yep. And I think a lot of parents, besides like wanting the specific advice as far as like feeding and diapers and sleep and all that kind of stuff, I think a lot of parents just want to feel heard and want to feel validated and want their experience to be normalized.
Yes.
Like I find m- in my practice, I feel like I'm most effective at connecting with a parent when I tell them, like, I get it. I have been through this in my own home. My child
Yes.
has had this problem,
Yes, it makes all the difference
Yeah.
because you know you're not alone. And
Yes.
even though you know you're not
Yeah.
alone, when you have somebody, and that's where I think our consulting services truly come into play.
Yeah.
Because even though not every baby is exactly the same,
Mhm.
but they are pretty much the same,
Yeah.
right? But every situation is different.
Yeah.
Every household is set up different. Every parent is different.
Mhm.
So being able to do our consulting services where we can kind of come alongside you
Yeah.
and say, okay, where's your pain points? Well, I
Mhm.
can't let my baby cry more than 5 minutes. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, then let's work with that. Let's make sure all these other things are in place,
Right.
right? We're going to make sure the sleep environment is safe.
Mhm.
We're going to make sure that we have all the tools that we need, whether it's a really good swaddle
Mhm.
under 12 weeks of age, a high quality sound machine does help. It's not
Yeah.
about everybody thinks you use a sound machine to drown out the noises in the house. That's not what
No.
that's for.
Nope.
Sound machine literally helps you sleep
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
It is a transitional sound that keeps the body relaxed. And I'm sure you know. I mean, I did a consult for a sleep doctor
Uh-huh.
way back in the early days, and I was doing my spill about the sound machines, like, oh, we use them, and they're pretty loud, but you can take them away. And he's like, quit telling people to take them away. He said if more people slept with them, we would have.
Yeah.
He said 6 hours of sleep with a sound machine is feels like 8
Oh,
at a
really?
cellular level because
Wow.
everything rejuvenates more. The
Yeah.
brain, the cells, so I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll just keep it. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. Um, but kind of setting up families with all of those details, those
Mhm.
routine. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do a routine so that they know what comes next
Right.
because they can't tell time.
Right.
So since they can't tell time, we're going to help their bodies know.
Yep.
We're going to get them up in the morning. We're going to open up those blinds, get
Mhm.
some sunlight in, and then we're going to proceed to do things at the same time every day
Mhm.
within, what's realistically possible. But by partnering with parents personally,
Yeah.
then we can make those tweaks and
Yep.
adjustments. And then we walk it out with you every single day.
Mhm.
So then that way, when those bumps in the road happen, you have one voice that you can lean into
Yeah.
because the information overload is and
It's out of control.
it's out of control, and it's not about being right or wrong.
No.
I believe that you can hold your baby 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until they go to college and be an incredible parent.
Yes. Yep.
It wouldn't have worked for me.
Right.
I would have
Right.
been a horrible parent.
Right.
I would have been bitter and,
Mhm. Yeah.
resent getting up in the morning. It would
Yeah.
have been horrible for
Yep.
me. That's not going to work. So just being able to say, look, let's work with where you are
Yeah.
and help you. But that information overload is so real. One of the things that I often tell my personal clients
Mhm.
is limit the amount of voices
Uh-huh.
that you allow to speak into how you do this.
Yes.
Try to find the voices that resonate with what you believe and
Yep.
what your goals are.
Yep.
And then those are the people that you're going to lean to.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a vested interest in the outcome, they don't get a seat at your table.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you have to ask people to leave your table.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay.
I think that's
That's okay.
really good advice.
And, and I think so often we get caught up in doing it like social media is telling us we should.
I know.
And it very rarely ever looks like that.
I know.
I love changing my comforters and pillows and stuff in my bedroom, right? And I'll buy every single thing on the latest influencer that I saw, right? And it never looks quite the same. I just can't quite figure it out,
Yeah.
So just kind of limiting those voices, I think, is so huge because it's not. Social media makes it seem as if it's perfect.
Yeah.
And then our perception of perfection gets distorted.
Yes. Yep.
And, that is a huge, huge obstacle that I think we, specifically women, have to try to overcome.
Yep.
And we're not going to be perfect. It's okay.
Well, and I think when it comes to parenting, the problem with, going to social media for your advice and guidance is that none of that is tailored to your child and your family situation. Right. It's just like these blanket approaches.
Right.
And so, no, it's not. Well, you might get lucky and it works for your kid.
Right,
but
sure.
for a lot of kids, it's not going to work because it's not personalized.
It's not personalized. And that perception of perfection is a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
Yep.
And so if we can start to say, no, we're going to have really, really, really bad days.
Yep.
We're going to have really, really good days.
Yeah.
And Moms on Call's goal is so that you can have more good days than bad.
Yep.
That's all we're going for.
Right.
Not perfection. Not that everything's going to look, Pinterest worthy. We just want more good days than bad. Okay. I can handle the bad days.
And knowing that the bad days will come to an end. That you might have a bad day, but not every day is going to be a bad day.
It's just not.
Right.
We're going to have a bad day, then we're going to have 2 or 3 really good days.
Yep.
And then we're going to go backwards and we're going to try and, start changing things because it was such a bad day. When in reality, we probably just should have rode over the butt.
Exactly.
Don't change anything. Those knee-jerk reactions, I think, get us into trouble sometimes. I still do them. But I think that, if we're like, oh, wait a second, it was one bad day.
Yep.
Now, if we've got 3, 4, 5 bad days in a row, then that's where I love to come in and say, okay, look at your foundation. Did you change something in the sleep environment?
Right.
Have you been going a lot? Maybe it's springtime and you're out a whole lot and you've just been running from day to day and we haven't had any really good naps in 2 or 3 days. Or do we need to adjust the routine? Maybe they're ready to be up a little bit longer. So maybe we need to kind of adjust, use our 15-minute grace period and see if that helps. But we don't need to do it just because of one bad day. And I think we do get kind of caught up in that. Oh, I got to fix it. I have to fix it. And I have to fix it right now.
Yep. Yeah. We get panicked.
Yeah.
Parents panic.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Okay. What would you say what's been the hardest part about parenting, in your own life, your own home?
In my own home, I think it is that. And I'll start off saying I think I had that perception of trying to have everything balanced.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be exactly balanced. And then I was at a conference and listened and they were talking about no, don't try to balance everything, prioritize. And I had a mind shift in my own household. All right. Instead of everything being balanced, we're going to prioritize. And that who's in those prioritized, levels are going to change, right? But, oh, you know what? Today I have a business meeting, and
Mhm.
so mom's on call is gonna go above what we eat for dinner tonight.
Yep.
So we may be getting takeout, and
Yep.
it's gonna be okay because I got
Mhm.
3 meetings today.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, maybe it's, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be able to cook, and I'm gonna have some of that time," and so I think changing my perspective, uh, to prioritizing things from day to day
Mhm.
and being willing to change the order
Yes. Be
as
flexible.
I need to and to
Yep.
be flexible. I was a little more
Mhm.
strict. So that was probably the hardest part is
Mhm.
realizing that, oh no, you are not going to control
Yeah.
every single thing of every single minute of every single day.
Mhm.
It's just not going to happen.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever think about doing any advice for, like, older kids or teenagers?
We get it all the time. Everybody is like, "When's the next book
Uh-huh,
coming? When's
uh-huh.
the next book coming?" And we have thought about it, but we thought, "No, this is our sweet spot.
Yeah, yeah,
This is really where we
yeah,
are. It's where we thrive
yeah.
at." The newest addition to our resources outside of the app,
Mhm.
like actual Moms on Call resources, is our toddler
Uh-huh.
resources, and we created the SMART paradigm.
Okay.
And it's a little quiz
Uh-huh.
that the parents can take, and we love for, like, parents to take it separate
Yeah.
and for grandma to step
Uh-huh.
in or another caregiver, and then
Mhm.
you kinda really get the good results, because you get different perspectives,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But that SMART paradigm is typically there's about 5 motivators, and we
Okay.
don't necessarily call them personalities, but motivators.
Okay.
What motivates you? S Either social,
Okay.
movement,
Uh-huh.
and engineer, because we couldn't do SMART. That just didn't sound quite right. So, an engineer,
Uh-huh.
rule follower, or touch. And your
Oh.
kids are probably 1 or 2 of these,
Uh-huh.
and there'll be one that comes up and then another one that
Yeah.
comes up, and you'll kinda see going back and forth. But once you know how they're designed, what their motivators are,
Mhm.
then you can discipline and build
Yes.
that relationship according to that.
Okay.
So, my second oldest daughter is a swim coach,
Uh-huh.
and she does private lessons for young kids,
Mhm.
4, 5, 6. She also coaches all the way through high school and
Uh-huh.
all of that. But for those little ones, 4, 5, 6 years old, she's like, "Mom, if I know how they're motivated," and she'll do the quiz. She'll have the parents do the quiz
Mhm.
before she does these individual lessons with these little bitties.
Yeah.
I guess she'll even go down to 2 years of age, so 2, 3, 4. And she says, "Once I know if I've got a social kid, man, I am like bright-eyed and
Uh-huh.
I'm making super fun faces." She said, "But if I've got a touch kid, I'm gonna keep them a little closer,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna bop their nose, and I'm gonna tousle their hair."
Mhm.
If it's a movement kid, man, we are, like, doing some jumping jacks. We are doing dry land at 3
Uh-huh.
years old,
Uh-huh.
right? Because I know that I gotta keep that kid active and
Right.
engaged and moving,
Right.
and, but it was incredible to watch that she was able to use that and completely change how she did her coaching to these
Yeah.
kids. And so we have that SMART paradigm. The quiz is free online. It gives you that kind of insight. You can take it for yourself too.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting when you know what your motivators are.
I
And I
feel like
love being able
preschools
to.
need that.
They so need it. I think it could revolutionize
Yeah.
how these teachers are teaching to their kids.
Yes.
An engineer, love engineers. They are
Mhm.
just the best,
Yeah.
but they don't want you hovering over them.
Nope.
Nope. You tell them this, and this, and then get out of their way.
Right.
And yes, they are going to get frustrated, but they don't want you swooping in and fixing it.
Right.
They want to figure it out.
Uh-huh.
So let that frustration be a motivation
Yeah.
so that they can oh, wait, it fits this way. I've got it. I got it. Everybody thinks they want a rule follower. Everybody thinks they want a
Mhm.
rule follower.
Mhm.
And most of us probably do. Um, but rule followers can be the ones that want to create the rules
Yeah.
and they want everybody to follow the
Yep.
rules,
Yep.
even other people's kids.
Yes. Yep.
So they will absolutely be like, "No, I am following the rules, and Bobby's going to follow the rules, and everybody in this house is
Uh-huh.
going to follow the rules." And then they like to make sure that they follow the
Yes.
rules.
Yep.
And oh, one thing with the touch kids and every single parent will understand this.
Uh-huh.
Those are your snuggly kids.
Uh-huh.
those are the ones that will climb up in your lap and they'll just wrap their fingers
Mhm.
around your hair and then bite the crap out of you. You know, those are it's they just do, right? So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you'll have to look that and then we took that one step further
Mhm.
and created potty by design. So then we
Oh,
give parents a couple of
okay.
options, but specific to the design of your kid.
I love that.
Don't put a movement kid on the potty
Right,
for 25 minutes and
right.
think that we're gonna be doing some baby yoga,
Uh-huh.
toddler yoga sitting
Yeah,
on the potty. But we did the potty by design resource as well
I
to go
love
with that.
that.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But nope, we're not doing teenagers. No, we're just not.
Whole different can of worms that you
Whole
don't need to
different
open.
can we're gonna pass those over to you.
That's what I'm here for. Um, but I love that, and it's like, I hope that maybe there's some preschool teachers out there listening to
Right.
this that could look that up because I feel like
Yes.
that
Get
helps so
with
much
us.
if you know going into it, what motivates this kid? How do I get them
Yes.
to do whatever I need
And
them to do?
not that it can't change,
Right,
right? We never
right.
wanna pigeonhole anybody
Right.
into one specific thing, but it
It can help.
absolutely can open up your eyes. Your little
Yeah.
rule followers, you're gonna give them some tasks
Yep.
in the morning and let them be your little helper. Your
Yeah.
social kids, those are the kids that you are putting at the front of the room,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun.
That does
It's been a
sound
lot of
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Okay, well, tell everybody how they can find Moms on Call.
Moms on Call. We are everywhere, of course, all your social media channels. Momsoncall.com is the best. It's the prettiest website, I just have to say. So you do need to go out to momsoncall.com. The App Store
Mhm.
has the new app, which has all the routines. You can customize it. We still try to keep it within the Moms on Call framework.
Okay.
But we will give you some wiggle room. If you have
Mhm.
to get up at 6 a.m. to get out the door to get to work, then we're going to make those
Yep.
adjustments. But we have all the logging features in the new app. A couple of my favorite things is we do Moms on Call 365,
Okay.
where parents get an audio for the age of their child every day.
Oh,
So
wow.
starting at day one,
Uh-huh.
you get that first day, and then we go through with you every single day, getting that
Wow.
for the first year,
Yeah.
and then our community forum, where our consultants, who are all nurses
Uh-huh.
and they are all moms,
Yep.
get into that community forum and try to answer as many questions as we can.
Mhm.
And then we also do chat options within personal
Okay.
one-on-one chat options
Uh-huh.
within the app. So everything is right where you need to be. So that's the App Store, of course, Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook. And we always love it. We love being able to meet parents right where they are, right in the middle of the chaos, because
Mhm.
it is chaos.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Little Brain Campaign podcast. If you enjoyed our conversation, give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Please take a moment to leave a review while you're still thinking about it. It really helps grow the podcast, and I love hearing from our listeners. See you next time.